War number 9. We are officially in the last third of the season, and I'm gonna take 8 fights this war, which is the most I've taken this entire season. And these fights are gonna go just really crazy. A lot of stuff that should have just gone perfectly fine went terribly wrong, and some things that should have gone terribly wrong went perfectly right. So that's a lot of how these fights are going to go. I'm fighting this Joe Fixit on path 2 here to start. This is a pretty nothing placement. It's just I do have to watch that I don't stun too much, because if I don't have a buff, my stun duration is going to go down each time I trigger it. And that was a dumb intercept, by the way, because this disorient could have caught my evade. Luckily, he didn't throw a special attack, so I didn't get screwed over. But I shouldn't have used an intercept there. But he dies anyway, so it's okay. Yeah, in hindsight, don't intercept there, because the disorient could have screwed me up. But it's alright. So next up, I have to fight this Spidey Supreme. And I want to try to alternate my combos if I can. And my game lagged at the start of the fight, and I couldn't parry. It's on my phone. I felt it kind of like, I know my phone is set to vibrate at the start of the fight, but for some reason it didn't. And I was like, oh no, I hate when this happens, because that usually means it's gonna lag and I won't have inputs at the start. But luckily we weren't too punished for it. We also got unfazed, which is like, oh no, but he threw a special attack, so it didn't matter. We're gonna go for an evade there. I risked getting unfazed again, but it's okay. And we throw the SP2, and yeah, it's just, I think that might have been just a rank 4 Spidey Supreme, so he already has like no health to begin with, but when you're fighting a rank 4 with my rank 3 negative, it's just a complete massacre. So next up is Mojo, and honestly, using negative might have been smarter here, but I thought in my head the only way I could possibly die with Silk is, or just with either of them, is misdexing an SP2, and with Silk I had the auto evade. In hindsight, I should have used negative because of the fact that if he gets to 5 of the energies of his followers or whatever, then I can get haters on myself, but if negative gets haters on himself, it's not really that big a deal. So I'm going to go for some intercepts, throw my SP2 here. He got stun a champion 3 times in a row, and I'm like, come on dude, I'm using Silk. Can you give me like any other prompt? But luckily he's dead, so it didn't matter. So I got some nice crit RNG at the end of the SP2. And this next fight is going to be Clara versus 35 CGR. This is a complete nothing fight, so I'm going to speed it up and get to the minis, because the minis are where some really crazy stuff starts to happen. But basically, I just kind of want to alternate between Incinerate and Bleed. Well, not even alternate. I just want to stay in Incinerate Curse the whole fight. Just going to block his SP2s, not going to risk dexing them. I might go for... I could have gone for an SP2 in the Bleed phase to heal some. That might have been something I should have considered, but he's about to die. Doesn't even matter. So we killed him with that basic attack, and that is my path fight. So, alright, now I have Mr. Negative versus Node 38 Sasquatch. I've done this fight countless times. I know exactly how to do it. And I am going to make a big mistake in this fight. And we're going to see what happens. I'm going to activate Science Power Backs mainly for the fight after this one, because they don't really affect negative too much here. Science Power Backs really don't affect negative at all, but basically last war I tried a new rotation where I use an SP1, like right below 2 bars, instead of using the evade, because what that's going to do is knock him down so I have a little bit of extra damage just from the Ebb and Flow knockdown node while I'm building up to my SP3. And if I can do enough damage while I have that Fury, I can just kill him in 1 SP3 instead of 2 like I usually have to. So that was kind of the game plan here with this new strategy they came up with last war. Do some damage with basic attacks while I'm building up to an SP3, and hopefully I can just kill him in 1. If this is a rank 3 Sasquatch, it's not going to work that way, but because this is a rank 2, it's fine. One more parry, and then I'm fully ramped. We're going to go for an evade right here, and I'm going to knock him down with the relic, and boom, I want to use an SP3 here, except he's close to 2 bars. I see he's close to 2 bars, and I know he gets extra combat power rate when I have a Fury, and I decided, you know what, it's fine, we're not going to push him red, this isn't going to give him enough power. Yeah, in my head, I was like, I think that he's going to be just below 3 bars, like, very close, but no, he went to 3 bars, and I'm like, oh no. That was not a good move, Grass. That was a really dumb move. So now I'm eating an SP3, and I'm like, that doesn't do a lot of damage, though. Okay, so I was a little worried because I wasn't sure how many prowess he had. He had none, so we didn't really take too much damage there, and we were kind of chilling. So now I'm just going to kill him with basics. 15k medium crit at the end, so that was scary. I legit thought I might have died, but he didn't have prowess like I kind of thought he did, so it was okay. Alright, now we're going to fight this Jessica Jones with Silk, and I actually had to push really hard to get this assigned to myself, but I knew in my head this is really easy. I just kind of get to SP3 and she's kind of just dead from the Silk lock rotation. Except for the fact that, basically I was doing my mini fights like 10 minutes after I finished a long Battleground stream, so I was really nervous. I just had my nerves up from the stream still, and I also had very sweaty hands for some reason, and so I'm going to throw my SP3, and there's going to be 2 reasons where I'm going to mess this up. One is because my hands were sweaty, so that probably had part of it, and I was kind of nervous, but secondly, it's because usually when I'm using Silk's SP3, I have the skip SP3 button, and then I just know once I press that button, I immediately dash in. But when I was doing this rotation, I was dashing in, or doing my dash input while she was still in the SP3 animation, so the game registered it as a light attack, because I'm like, I need to medium as fast as possible when the animation ends, but I'm doing it too early, so the game thinks I'm doing a light attack. So that's totally on me. I just messed that up. You saw me whiff the light. That was supposed to be a medium, and that just completely screwed up my rotation, because I'm like, I gotta be fast, I gotta throw this medium attack immediately after the SP3 animation ends to land the combo. But because I wasn't using, like, skip SP3 to where I just push button and immediately go for a medium, I have to actually time when the SP3 animation is gonna end, and I just messed it up. So, luckily, it didn't cost me. Luckily, because of Power Focus 2, she couldn't really get to 3 bars. If she got to 3 bars, I'm just completely dead because of the stun. It's like a 5-second stun at the end of Jessica's special, so. Anyway, enough of that fight. Now we're fighting Serpent on node 44, and this was the fight I was worried about dying to the most. And I'm already going to make a big mistake. In my head, I thought the unblockable is tied to his True Focus buff. That's a complete lie. I don't know why my head thought that. So I saw that I had buff immunity. I was like, okay, I can block the SP2. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. And I don't know why I thought I could. I just, for some reason, thought that it was tied to buff immunity, which was really dumb. But anyway, we're gonna alternate, like, poison and incin in this fight. I think I expected Claire's Incinerate Curse to do more damage, but Serpent just doesn't take a lot of damage from instant effects at all, and he's got the resistance up. So that was a bad move going for Incinerate Curse, because even my officer was like, the Incinerate Curse is what I'd suggest for this fight, because you don't really need the power control when you have the tactic now giving you power control. But because of the fact that the SP2 in Incinerate is just doing, like, no damage, it would have been better just to power control my way through this fight. So we're gonna be doing SP2s, except for the fact that once I threw my SP2 in the Incinerate Curse, and I'm like, I'm lucky I only got 2 Incinerates on myself, too. Like, I could have died if I had worse Hazard Shift RNG. But I'm gonna pause the fight here, because in the moment in the fight, I'm like, okay, I know I'm dead, and I know there's only one way I can survive this, and that one way is me going to SP3 and triggering my death immunity. So, at this point, I'm like, okay, I gotta race to SP3, or else I am just completely dead. So we're gonna get there as fast as we can, and hopefully not die to block damage. We were at 1%, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just get me to the SP3, and then I'll be safe for a little while. So now I get my death immunity. Once I trigger the death immunity, I'm gonna get some healing back, and this SP3 is gonna bring him to 25%, but he's so tanky that the 25% is gonna feel like it's gonna last forever. But luckily, death immunity is going to trigger. We're going to get a good bit of healing back. And now I'm like, okay, I have a little bit more health to work with. That was why I wanted to go for an SP3 to begin with. So now I just need to chill and get to my SP2 while he's in Poison Curse, throw that, and hopefully just not die. And we're gonna push him into the wall, knock away some of his charges. And now I see the incinerate curse. The incinerate phase is about to come back, so now I'm just gonna chill. I just need to avoid him, try to get him to be passive, and just wait out that incinerate. Hit his block a little bit for prowess. And now I'm like, okay, throw an SP2. We throw it right there. And we're going to get a lot of power back. We get a really nice crit at the end. I'm going to throw another SP2. And he's still not going to die yet. We get a really nice crit at the end again. I throw my relic just to hopefully see if I can make it hit him. It doesn't. And now he's in the incinerate curse. And I'm like, okay, if I cycle in the incinerate curse, he dies. And he's dead. And I'm so relieved that that fight is over. And I'm so glad that I recognized I gotta go SP3 or else I'm gonna die. Because if I didn't recognize that mid-fight, that's a death. And I just saved myself by doing the smart thing and getting that healing back. So I'm really happy with how that fight went, even though I messed up a lot at the start, but I finished really strong, so I'm really happy with how that went. Last up is Chavez on node 46. This is another, like, get to SP3 and she's dead kind of fight. The only way this can really go wrong is if she just decides to heavy spam just constantly to where she has, like, 2 dimensions at once. Because I can handle 1, that's not, like, a terrible thing. But if she gets 2, I'm, like, really screwed. And I can afford to miss 1 SP2 because I'll have the evade. Unless I get it punched away like I just did there, but in theory, I'll be able to at least evade 1 SP2, and then I'll have to work for another evade. But alright, so the same thing is going to happen here, where I try to medium too early, and the game's going to register at a light attack. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting so tired of this. I need to, like, practice more evading without using the not evading, but doing the combo without the skip SP3 button. Because that's what's just screwing me over here. I throw an SP1 and she's not dead. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. We're going to kill her. I just need to get 1 parry off, and then she's going to die with a heavy attack. And just like that, she is dead. And I was really scared because I'm like, how did I mess that up a second time? It's okay. I'm fine. I soloed all 8 of my fights. I'm really happy with how that war went. And, dude, I got so scared at some moments in that war, but it's okay. We demolished our opponents this war, so now we're on like a 3-game win streak, so it's feeling really good. 3 or 4 wins in a row, I think, for us. So we're now Plat 2 rank 1, so we need to win 2 more wars to guarantee a Plat 1 ender, and that's really what our goal is, to end Plat 1, so we're really close to our goal, and 3 wars left. I can deal with this tactic for 3 more wars. I don't even mind the tactic that much, but I know a lot of people do, and I'm ready to finish strong at the end of the season. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.